Welcome, friends. Today I'm excited to share with you an in-depth exploration of 5 daily practices that, when embraced for just 1 week, completely redefine the way I approach life. While it might sound almost unbelievable at first, I assure you these aren't the typical life hack tips you see repeatedly on social media. They are hard-won lessons and genuine habits I integrated into my everyday routine, each with its own trials, moments of breakthrough, and ultimately, profound rewards. Whether your goal is to sharpen your focus, nurture your emotional well-being, or simply foster a more intentional way of living, these practices offer practical, actionable steps you can start right away. So, pour yourself your favorite beverage, settle in, and join me on this journey toward self-improvement. I promise that by the end, you'll see how these changes can become the catalyst for a more balanced, energized, and mindful life. Habit 1. Embracing the dawn. The power of rising early. Let's begin with the habit that truly reshaped my mornings: rising early. I'll be honest, I was never the type to greet the day with enthusiasm. For years, my bed was a sanctuary, and the snooze button was my closest ally. Mornings used to be a whirlwind of rushed decisions and lingering grogginess, often setting a chaotic tone for the rest of the day. Then I decided to experiment with a new routine, waking up at 5 a.m. It was nothing short of a revolution. The initial days were grueling. Dragging myself out of bed felt like an uphill battle against nature, and every minute seemed drenched in lethargy. Yet, persistence paid off. By the 3rd day, the early hours began to reveal their magic. I discovered a quiet stillness in the world, a moment when the hustle of daily life was yet to begin. This tranquil period offered me a rare opportunity, time that belonged solely to me. I gradually transformed these early hours into a personal sanctuary for reflection and preparation. My new morning ritual started with a gentle stretch or a brisk walk around the block, activities that not only shook off the sleepiness but also infused me with a burst of energy. I then dedicated a few minutes to meditation, allowing my mind to settle and set clear intentions for the day ahead. The calm, unhurried start not only enhanced my focus but also reduced the stress that once dominated my mornings. I vividly recall one morning, standing on my balcony as the first light of day broke through the horizon. The sky's slow transformation into a spectrum of colors filled me with an overwhelming sense of gratitude and calm, a simple, yet profound reminder of the beauty in beginnings. For those who doubt the benefits of an earlier start, consider this. Even shifting your wake-up time by just 15 minutes can gradually unveil new pockets of time for self-care and planning. It isn't merely about accumulating extra hours. It's about creating a mindful ritual that sets a positive and deliberate tone for the entire day. Habit 2. Daily movement. Rekindling your connection with your body. Moving on to the next transformative habit, incorporating daily exercise into my life. I must confess, there was a time when physical activity was the last thing on my mind. I would often justify my inactivity with excuses like, "I'm too exhausted," "I'm too busy," or "I'll get around to it later." However, a moment of clarity pushed me to prioritize movement over excuses, committing to at least 20 minutes of exercise every day for an entire week. The impact was nothing short of extraordinary. I began modestly, mixing a variety of exercises, some gentle yoga, a few minutes of jogging, and even light strength training. This diversity kept the routine engaging and prevented monotony. The first couple of days were undeniably challenging. Muscle soreness and mental fatigue seemed to be constant companions. Yet as I persisted, the benefits slowly emerged. By the 4th day, I awoke with renewed vigor, and the fog of lethargy started to lift. My mood improved noticeably. I felt calmer, more positive, and surprisingly more resilient. One particularly memorable morning involved a solo jog on a crisp day. With each step, I experienced a liberating sense of solitude and clarity. The rhythm of my footsteps and the cool air against my skin brought a meditative quality to the run, allowing me to reconnect deeply with my thoughts and surroundings. This wasn't just about physical fitness. It was a profound form of self-care that reset my mental state for the day. In addition to cardio, I also ventured into yoga, a practice I had previously dismissed as too gentle to count as a workout. Over time, yoga became a cherished practice that taught me patience, balance, and the importance of being present. The stretches, the focused breathing, and even the quiet moments of stillness offered me a powerful reminder that caring for one's body can be both nurturing and transformative. Ultimately, incorporating a regular exercise routine reshaped not just my body, but also my mindset. It was a daily commitment to honor my well-being, proving that even a small amount of physical activity can lead to a cascade of positive changes. My advice for those looking to begin is simple: start with what feels manageable, whether that's a brisk walk, a dance session, or a few yoga poses, and build gradually. Over time, you'll notice that this routine becomes a treasured part of your daily life, unlocking a reservoir of energy and clarity you might not have known existed. Habit 3. The art of reflection, journaling for inner clarity. Next, let's delve into a habit that opened up a new realm of self-awareness: journaling. Initially, I was skeptical. I had always believed that keeping a journal was reserved for those with ample free time or for deeply introspective souls. Yet committing just 10 minutes each night to jot down my thoughts over the course of a week led to an unexpected and profound transformation. Armed with a simple notebook and a pen that felt just right, I dedicated a quiet moment before sleep to reflect on the day. The first few nights were awkward. I stared at blank pages, uncertain of what to record. Eventually, I began to write about the day's events, noting both the little victories and the challenges. This process soon evolved into a deeper dialogue with myself. I chronicled my aspirations, expressed my anxieties, and even questioned my own limitations. It was as though I was conversing with a trusted friend, one who provided clarity without judgment. As days turned into a week, the journal became a mirror reflecting the intricate patterns of my thoughts and behaviors. I realized that many of my anxieties were rooted in scenarios beyond my control, while other issues presented opportunities for positive change. One evening, after an exceptionally stressful day at work, I poured my feelings onto the pages. Documenting the source of my stress, my emotional reactions, and potential ways to address these challenges enabled me to gain a newfound sense of control over my emotional landscape. I also began to celebrate my small wins. I meticulously recorded moments of success, a well-executed presentation, a compliment from a colleague, or even the simple act of overcoming a personal hurdle. Revisiting these entries later instilled a deep sense of accomplishment and motivation to keep moving forward. Additionally, I introduced a gratitude section into my nightly ritual, noting down 3 things each day for which I felt grateful. This simple practice shifted my focus from deficiencies to abundance, cultivating a mindset of appreciation that brightened even the dullest days. Journaling gradually revealed itself as more than just a record of events. It became a trusted space for introspection, growth, and emotional release. If you've never given journaling a try, I encourage you to start without the pressure of crafting perfect prose. Simply allow your thoughts to flow, unfiltered and honest. You might discover that the act of writing not only untangles the complexities of your emotions, but also paves the way for personal breakthroughs that you never thought possible. Habit 4. Savoring every bite. The practice of mindful eating. Our 4th transformative habit centers on our relationship with food, a practice known as mindful eating. In our fast-paced lives, it's all too easy to devour meals in haste, often while juggling other tasks or distractions like scrolling through our phones. I, too, fell into the trap of eating on autopilot, unaware of the impact this had on both my physical and emotional health. That is, until I decided to fully immerse myself in the experience of eating mindfully for 1 week. Mindful eating invites you to be fully present during meals, to observe the textures, flavors, and even the aroma of each bite. To truly experience food is to treat each meal as an opportunity to nourish not just the body, but also the soul. I began by intentionally setting the stage for my meals, clearing the table, arranging a simple yet inviting setup, and banishing distractions like my phone and television. With each meal, I paused, took several deep breaths, and allowed myself to appreciate the sensory experience of eating. One striking revelation was how dramatically the taste of familiar foods transformed when I slowed down to savor every morsel. A simple bowl of oatmeal, once consumed without thought, became an indulgent moment of appreciation, as I noticed the creaminess, the subtle sweetness of honey, and the delicate crunch of fresh fruit. This newfound awareness not only made meals more enjoyable, but also allowed my body to better register signals of fullness, preventing overeating and leaving me feeling genuinely satisfied. Mindful eating also opened my eyes to the emotional layers intertwined with food consumption. I began to recognize that I often reached for snacks not out of genuine hunger, but as a coping mechanism for stress or boredom. One evening, rather than automatically reaching for a sugary treat after dinner, I paused and questioned my cravings. I discovered that a warm cup of herbal tea provided the comfort I was seeking, without the guilt or subsequent sluggishness that often followed indulgence in dessert. This practice has reshaped my relationship with food in ways I hadn't imagined. Not only have I become more in tune with what my body truly needs, but I've also developed a healthier appreciation for the nourishment each meal provides. If you're interested in exploring mindful eating, start small. Dedicate one meal a day to being fully present. Observe the colors, textures, and flavors, and allow each bite to be an opportunity for gratitude. In time, you may find that your approach to food and life becomes infinitely richer and more intentional. Habit 5. Digital detox. Reclaiming life beyond the screen. In today's hyper-connected world, one of the most challenging yet rewarding habits I adopted was limiting my screen time. It's all too common to find ourselves ensnared by digital distractions. Endless scrolling on social media, binge-watching series, or getting lost in a sea of emails long after the workday ends. I eventually realized that this digital immersion was slowly draining my mental energy, disrupting my sleep, and even impeding my ability to connect with the world around me. Determined to reclaim control over my time, I instituted a daily limit for non-essential screen usage. I set aside only 1 hour per day for leisure on digital devices, making a conscious effort to step away from the virtual world. The early days of this experiment were undeniably challenging. I felt the strong pull of habitual checking, and at times, I even experienced moments of frustration. However, as the days passed, I began to notice a remarkable shift in my daily routine. Suddenly, I discovered hours of free time that had been quietly slipping away amidst endless scrolling. With this reclaimed time, I revisited neglected hobbies, picking up a novel I'd long set aside, sketching for the sheer joy of creativity, or even experimenting with new recipes in the kitchen. One memorable evening found me leaving my usual spot on the couch to take a refreshing walk in the park. The fresh air, the sounds of rustling leaves, and the simple pleasure of observing life firsthand offered an invigorating contrast to the sedentary patterns I'd become accustomed to. Another profound benefit was the improvement in my sleep quality. Previously, my nightly ritual involved clinging to my phone well into the late hours, which not only interfered with my ability to wind down, but also left me feeling restless the next morning. By strictly curbing screen exposure, especially before bedtime, I established a more peaceful pre-sleep routine, often involving reading a physical book or meditative reflection. This change ushered in deeper, more restorative sleep and a clearer mind upon waking. The most surprising outcome of this digital detox was the boost in my overall mental well-being. Without the constant barrage of news, notifications, and online comparisons, I found myself more present in conversations, more engaged with my surroundings, and far less anxious. In one particularly serene afternoon at a quiet local cafe, I spent time simply jotting down thoughts in a notebook, savoring the analog pleasure of writing without the buzz of digital interference. This time away from the screen allowed me to reconnect with my inner self and rediscover the joy of genuine human interaction. Limiting screen time isn't about rejecting technology entirely, it's about striking a healthier balance. By consciously reducing digital distractions, I found that I could redirect my attention to more fulfilling pursuits, both creative and introspective. If you feel overwhelmed by the constant connectivity of modern life, I encourage you to set modest boundaries for your digital habits. Start with short intervals free of screens and gradually expand them, allowing yourself to savor the richness of real-life experiences, a journey of small steps leading to big changes. As we come full circle on these 5 transformative habits, I want to emphasize that this journey isn't about achieving perfection overnight. It's about embracing gradual, mindful shifts that lead to lasting change. Over the course of just 1 week, I witnessed how rising early, incorporating daily exercise, maintaining a reflective journaling practice, savoring each bite with mindful eating, and reclaiming time away from screens collectively elevated my quality of life. Each habit reinforced the others, creating a positive feedback loop that enhanced my physical energy, mental clarity, and overall happiness. My message to you is simple. Real transformation doesn't require drastic overhauls. It often begins with a series of small, intentional adjustments. These practices are not magic formulas, but practical steps that, when applied consistently, have the power to redefine how you experience every day. Whether you're striving for better productivity, enhanced well-being, or simply a more intentional lifestyle, I encourage you to experiment with these habits. Start with one that resonates most with you and gradually introduce others as you become more comfortable. I also want to acknowledge that change can be challenging. There will be moments when old habits tug at you, and that's perfectly normal. What matters is the commitment to persist, learn from each day, and gradually build a lifestyle that reflects your true priorities. Remember, it's not about immediate perfection, but steady progress, one step at a time. I'd love to hear about your experiences. What new habits have you tried, or which of these practices are you considering for your own journey? Your stories and insights enrich our community, fostering an environment where we all grow together. If you found these ideas valuable, please share this message with friends and family who might benefit from a renewed approach to daily life. And if you're eager for more insights on personal growth and mindful living, don't forget to subscribe and stay connected for future content. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of simple yet impactful life changes. Let's continue to embrace these small adjustments, knowing that over time they compound into profound life-enhancing transformations. Keep striving, keep evolving, and remember, every new day is an opportunity to rewrite your story. Stay inspired, stay determined, and above all, stay true to the journey of becoming the best version of yourself.